So, fuck me. Something just happened. I just fucking elbowed something and it all went wrong. The moment I start. That's what you can expect. Good show, Peter. Okay. Where to begin? Where to begin? Check, check, check. That sounds way too quiet. Can I make it louder? I don't know if I can. I should be able to, but who knows? Is it louder now? No, it's not. It's fucked. That's because it's coming through the wrong thing. What about now, you fucking fuck?
What about now, you fucking fuck?
Oh. I think we have... Yes! Yes, queens! We fucking did it. Yes, queens! Now it's too loud though, so we need to turn it down. Okay, let's check. How is that? Okay. Oh. I think we have... Yes! Yes, queens! We fucking did it. Yes, queens! This is so stupid. Okay. Some of you may remember back in the before times there was a film called Anna and the Apocalypse, and that's way too quiet. Some of you may remember Farty, farty, fart, 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 big fat farts, fart, fart, fart. That's a lot better. Okay. Some of you may remember back in the before times there was a film called Anna and the Apocalypse, and some of you may remember that I went to speak to the cast and crew of that film, including Sarah Swire. And at the time, Sarah told me that she was working on some new music. And basically, I've been a pain in her arse since then trying to get new music from her, and she has delivered. Brand new music from Sister Swire, which is what she calls her band. This is called My Sister is a Butcher. Brand new music from Sister Swire, which is what she calls her band. This is called My Sister is a Butcher. I wonder if I should have done that in a Yorkshire accent. My sister's a butcher. Where is it? My sister is a butcher. Open with that. From Sister Swire, which is what she calls her band. This is called My Sister is a Butcher.
1, 2. This song is called My Sister's a Butcher, and she's pretty calm. Lives like a macabre Jim Henson. Wants to die like John Lennon. Has an eye for foreign bodies. Calories sticking to your ribs.
Okay, excellent. What date is this weekend's show? What day is it today? 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Now we wait for it to export a few moments. Okay. Now, long-time listeners will remember our friend Tessa Violet, who's been on the show a bunch of times. We played a bunch of her new music. Well, she has got a brand new single out. It is called Yes Mom, and we're going to play it. Of course we're going to play it. What else am I going to do here? Just sit and look at it like, ooh, there's something on my computer. It's a new song by Tessa Violet, but you're not going to hear it. But I look at it, and it's got that little blue musical note. It's got a white background, and it says Tessa Violet, Yes Mom. So there it is. No, of course I'm going to play it for you. What else would I do here? Take a listen. A brand new single out. Stereo track. There it is! No, of course we want to play it for you. What else would I do here? Take a listen.
That you've been a fan of me. See me in your fantasies. Everything I got working for me. So eat that, peep that. I'm the one to beat, yeah. I'm the one to beat, yeah. I'm the one to beat, yeah. When I take my picture, wanna kiss her, I'm like, damn. I see my reflection, got affection, cause I care. I can't help but I feel myself. Yes, I guess I'm a fan. When everything you're looking for is right here where I stand, yeah. That you've been a fan of me. See me in your fantasies. Everything I got working for me. So eat that, peep that. I'm the one to beat, yeah. What you see is what you get. Everything.
Honestly, I've played more than one Tessa Violet song on this radio show, and every time I go to save the MP3 of the completed segment, you would not believe how many times I've gone to save it Tessa Violent, like I've added an N in there. And I assure you, Tessa Violent is probably completely different from Tessa Violet. Tessa Violent is the alternate universe version where she's got like a goatee and she just likes murdering people. Okay. We now have to play Hunt the Biography. This is going to make me sound like a bit of a bitch and like I'm whining. But honestly, I do wish people would send me biographies included in the pack. You get sent a EPK, electronic press kit, and it's got photos in it, and it's got the song, and it's got a bio. But some people just send the song, some people just send photos, and they're like, "Oh, click here if you want to listen to it." And I'm like, "Can you please just put it all together in one file, and I can just download it all to make my life so much easier, please and thank you?" But rarely happens like that, which is fine. I don't mind, really, if I've got time. Which sounds like a bit of a dick thing to say as well. Like, if I'm just casually putting things together, if I've got time to put the show together, then it's absolutely fine. I don't mind doing that. But if I'm in a bit of a rush and the show needs to go out and I need to put things together quickly, it's just kind of frustrating sometimes. Okay. Alt pop newcomer Louisiana, I hope I pronounced that correctly, kicks off the 2020. That's a bollocks. That's not right. Let me try it again. I'd assume that's pronounced Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana, I would say. Okay. Alt-pop newcomer Louisiana kicks off 2022 with the release of her celestial new single Lying to Me, which was released on the 4th of February. It's taken from her upcoming debut EP, Skia. I hope I pronounced that correctly. S-K-I-A with a little doodah above it, so I'd assume it's Skia. I would hope it's Skia. My apologies if I'm getting it wrong. Lying to Me is a brooding slice of atmospheric electronica oozing with sonically dark twists and turns throughout. Written weeks before Louisiana found out her partner was having an affair, the single has become a powerfully emotive and highly relatable premonition for what was to come. Louisiana elaborates, "The song told me what it was happening. I didn't know until I wrote it, and when I went to see him, it all fell into place. I love how songwriting can do this, predict. I put this down to the subconscious knowing what you have not yet understood. Being in a space writing freely channels into the subconscious." Louisiana, was born Jasmine Louisiana Elmsley. She was born in London, brought up in South Wales, and has spent her last 15 years between Bristol and Berlin. The EP was recorded in the famous Gold Watch studio in Berlin. So we're going to take a listen to the song. This is Louisiana, and it is called Lying to Me. That took a turn. Everything I got working for me, so beat that, I'm a one. I got that wrong, yeah. studio in Berlin. So we're going to take a listen to the song. This is Louisiana, and it is called Lying to Me.
I don't know, but I feel like you're lying to me. I know you're not the man I need, but I can see you're trying to be. I don't know, but I feel like you're lying to me. Nothing adds up as it should. Now I'm feeling crazy. You've got me feeling crazy, 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 crazy.
I've just remembered there was a thing I was going to do. I done messed up, Aaron. You know when it goes into this mode, when it like gets all mutilated and stuff up here? I fucking hate it. I don't know why it does it. I may not be able to let you listen to this bit, so I'll try to mute it.
You know how much if I never wake,
Just as depressing as I remember it.
would she
The way I feel about her in my heart.
will she know how if tomorrow never comes?
That's fine.
If tomorrow never comes,
Okay, so I got this next song into my inbox. It is called Bad Wolves and If Tomorrow Never Comes, and when I first saw the title, my first thought was this. But it's not that. It's very much not that. Take a listen. You will see how very not that it is. It's very much not that. Take a listen. Not that. It's very much not that. This band are called Bad Wolves. They're releasing their highly anticipated third album. It's called Dear Monsters. It's coming via Better Noise Music. And it's their first full-length release with their new singer, DL. Loudwire wrote about the new singer. DL's vocals help to bring a soaring and uplifting quality to the track. This song was met with immediate support from radio and sits currently in the top 10 in the US active rock radio. Boasting an impressive 1.5 billion streams globally, the band continues to grow, reaching over 5 million streams across platforms for the first single since its release last month. Excited to connect with fans, Bad Wolves are already preparing to bring their new album to life. They're joining Papa Roach and Hollywood Undead for a slate of North American tour, and then they're coming to Europe, including London, Berlin, and Glasgow. Now that sounds kind of cool, because between you, me, and Yonder Gatepost, I really liked Papa Roach when I was younger. I still like Papa Roach. Come at me. Keeping with the theme of the album and its title about confronting one's own demons, the band is partnering with UK organisation the Anti-Bullying Alliance to shed light on the fight against bullying and advocate for mental health awareness. Interesting that thought about anti-bullying. Bullying happens in all industries. All of them. If you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? About how you can be a grown-up in a supposedly professional environment and people can still bully you? There's a thought. Next month, the organisation will celebrate Anti-Bullying Week with the theme of One Kind Word. Martha Evans, director of the Anti-Bullying Alliance, said, "We're delighted to work with Bad Wolves to shine a spotlight on the impact bullying can have on young people's lives. We want to spread the message that if you are being bullied or struggling with the consequences of seeing bullying as a child, you're not alone and you can find the support you need." So, let's play the song. This is Bad Wolves and it's called If Tomorrow Never Comes. Not that. This band are called... Okay, so I got this next song into my inbox. It is called Bad Wolves and If Tomorrow Never Comes, and when I first saw the title, my first thought was this.
If tomorrow never comes.
But it's not that. It's very much not that. This band are called Bad Wolves. They're releasing their highly anticipated third album. It's called Dear Monsters. It's coming via Better Noise Music. And it's their first full-length release with their new singer, DL. Loudwire wrote about the new singer. DL's vocals help to bring a soaring and uplifting quality to the track. This song was met with immediate support from radio and sits currently in the top 10. And people can still bully you? There's a thought. Next month, the If Tomorrow Never Comes. and I'm going to see if/when Edinburgh-based indie punk Squiggles are delighted to announce their debut EP, Look. I just realised I've been talking away, and I was muted. Fan-fucking-tastic, am I right? The new project is Providers. The new project from Providers. The new project from Niall McCamley, drummer of cult Scottish punks The Spook School, who song, This Is a Wake-Up Call. Honestly, I've actually no idea if I'm allowed to play this music. I would guess as they're signed to Alcopop Records. Possibly not. But that's fine, I can just delete this VOD. Most of these I think I'm safe to play. Because it's people who send in songs from smaller record labels. Or independent music. But I can just delete the VOD. It's fine. There's an idea. What if I started a second channel for recording the radio show, so that if it gets fucking yeeted, then I haven't lost the main channel? Up here for thinking, down here for dancing. Good ideas. Good ideas. I know where they lead. I received this track into my inbox, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. I am worried I may not be pronouncing this artist's name correctly, because it is spelt D, the letter 3, L-T-A. Now, I would assume it's pronounced Delta, but there are other bands who have weird things in their names, like the band Perverse, who are supposed to be pronounced Paris, but it's spelled P-V-R-I-S. And believe me, they're really not happy that I call them Pervs. If you're not happy that I pronounce your name Pervs, don't spell your name. Pervs. So anyway, this band is called Delta, and it says he continues to defy expectations with his empowering new single, Strange. Having pioneered his own path away from the confines of stereotypes and labels, he hopes his new release will both uplift and encourage people to embrace the strange in their own lives. Born and raised in Greece to a Greek and a British parent, Delta first explored music on the piano, starting classically training, but that's fucking ruined. And this is still too quiet. Why are you being a fucker? Perverse, who are supposed to be pronounced Paris, but it's spelled P-V-R-I-S. And believe me, they're really not happy that I call them Pervs. If you're not happy that I pronounce your name Pervs, don't spell your name. Pearls. So anyway, this band... It's not a band, it's a solo performer. You're a fucking idiot. Let's check this. Is that better? That's much better. I don't know why it keeps dipping and it really fucks me off when it does it. Irregardless, let's move on with our lives. And believe me, they're really not happy that I call them pearls. So, Delta continues to defy expectations with his empowering new single, Strange. Having pioneered his own path away from the confines of stereotypes and labels, he hopes his new release will both uplift and encourage people to embrace the strange in their own life. That is fucking fucked. Why are you getting more and more quiet, you fucking piece of shit? Faces with his empowering new single, Strange. Hupper. See, it's moments like this when it becomes exhausting, because for absolutely no reason it'll start dipping up and down and making my life a fucking misery. Making my life even more of a misery, I should clarify. What did I just say? Is empowering new single, Strange. Empowering new single, Strange. Correctly, because inbox, and I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. I am pearls. So Delta continues to defy it. Strange. Having pioneered his own path away from the confines of stereotypes and labels, he hopes his new release will both uplift and encourage people to embrace the strange in their own lives. Born and raised in Greece to a Greek and a British parent, Delta first explored music on the piano, starting classical training aged 5 before picking up a guitar aged 12 to experiment with the grunge and punk music that fueled his creativity during his teens. Having performed in various bands throughout high school in Athens, he began studying engineering in London, where he fully immersed himself in the underground music scene, performing at iconic venues such as London's Comedy Club and the Blues Kitchen, as well as smaller venues. Pulling from a rich history of classic rock with influences like Aphrodite's Child and Cockney Rebel, through to the contemporary sounds of Tame Impala and Royal Blood, and hints of pomp reminiscent of Muse, Strange climbs on the shoulders of Delta's musical heroes. Delta credits producer Abyss with bringing the essence of the song to life sonically, Check, check, check. After storming onto the scene more than 10 years ago and unleashing the enormous singles Too Close, Crazy to Love You, Treading Water, and his Don Diablo collaboration, Heaven to Me, songs that had all gone to garner tens of millions of streams each, Alex Clare has now returned after a 5-year hiatus to deliver his enormous comeback single, Why Don't Ya? Picking up almost exactly where he left off, Why Don't Ya sees him continue that bold and euphoric direction he has always explored. Produced by I breathe really loudly, don't I? Produced by Stav Begar and co-written alongside Ivan Novello, songwriter of the year 2021 and two-time Grammy nominee Jamie Hartman, his long-awaited new release captures a broad and awe-inspiring aesthetic that he effortlessly fills with his ever-impressive voice. Speaking about the new offering, Alex said, "It captures the numbness that a lot of people get from not being able to express themselves or feel properly because everything is just such a mess. That frustration is something a lot of people can relate to at the moment." Back in the first decade of this century, he was part of a booming London music scene, sharing stages with artists as diverse as Florence and the Machine, Magnetic Man, and Mumford & Sons, and plenty more who went on to have notable careers. He was also infamously Amy Winehouse's boyfriend. When I first heard her play back-to-back... Bollocks. He says, "When I first heard her play me Back to Black, when she wrote it, I didn't pick up a guitar for weeks. I was just like, what's the point? I'll never create something like that. It was so powerful." He's a different person entirely these days, but the one thing that hasn't changed... No, that's bollocks. What am I saying? He's a different person entirely these days, but listen to his new music and you'll hear that one thing hasn't changed. Alex Clare is still brilliant. I'm not saying that. So let's take a listen to the track. This is Alex Clare, and Why Don't Ya? The moment. Back in the first decade of his century, he was also infamously Amy Winehouse's boyfriend. Awe-inspiring aesthetic that he release captures a broad and awe-inspiring aesthetic that he effortlessly fills with his ever-impressive... I mean, I tried. and Why Don't Ya?
Why don't you? You play fast your whole life. Time to play slow. You always reach so high because you feel so low. You said that you're all mine. So where did you go? I see what you've done. You think you're happy being numb. Why don't you? Feel broken-hearted, the dearly departed. Why don't you?
That's actually really good, isn't it? I wish I had a voice like that. This is a song by K Tempest, and it's a new single called More Pressure, which features Kevin Abstract of the American hip-hop group Brockhampton. Their shared friend and collaborator Rick Rubin had played the group The Book of Traps 22-year-old singer, songwriter and producer Leia Sen has signed to Partisan Records and shared her debut single and video, Hyacinth. The London-based performer has established herself as one of the capital's most in-demand talents, flitting between Excuse me. The London-based performer has... Okay, speaking up from me, London-based performer... The London-based performer has established herself as one of the capital's most in-demand talents, flitting between gossamer vocal features for Joy Orbison to solo work that references everything from Bon Iver's electric timbre and folk guitars to Sampha's impressionistic lyricism. Hyacinth received its worldwide premiere on Anne Hobbs' BBC Radio 6 music show. Well, we won't hold that against her. Leia Sen will also join fellow polymath Nutha Yanya on tour this year, supporting her in her UK and EU shows. Speaking about her new single, Leia Sen says, Hyacinth is about my journey from my home in Cergy in the outskirts of Paris to London. I've had to accept all the past mistakes I've made back home that I couldn't go back to. I had to accept and move on. In a way, I ran away from certain things. In another way, I also made the first step into growing into the person I really wanted to be. Sometimes I feel like my past mistakes haunt me. That's what I felt making this song. It's about wanting to grow and handle life with more wisdom. Singing from a young age as a natural means of self-expression, at 15, Sen learned the guitar and began to craft songs with an experimental, intuitive sensibility. Production and mixing skills soon followed out of a desire to entirely control her own creative destiny. In 2019, she moved to London from her home of Paris and caught the ears of drummer Kwaki Bass and singer-songwriter Wu Lu. A session with DJ and producer Joy Orbison produced the standout track Better from his 2021 mixtape Still Slipping Volume 1, while Sen's tender version of David Bowie's 1976 track Golden Years is a highlight of the Modern Love compilation album, featuring the likes of Helago, Years is a highlight of the Modern Love compilation album. I said that in a really weird way. Compilation album. Her musical catalogue presents the self-assured maturity of an artist twice her age, with Sen writing, producing and mixing all tracks herself. Still a rarity in a male-dominated industry. People assume that if you're a woman, you're just a singer, whereas I do so much more, she says. I'm not going to make myself feel insecure, though. I'm going to be comfortable expressing myself however I want. So this is Leia Sen and her song, Hyacinth. Modern Love compilation album. I hate how low these waveforms are. Oh, and handle life with more wisdom. Singing from a young age. Hyacinth, the London-based performer. But your mother, you know what, 'cause she's not sure if you're a boy or a girl. Hey babe, your hair's alright. Hey babe, let's go out tonight. Most songs I get, they'll say like radio edit or radio mix on them, and honestly, that kinda concerns me. So I always feel I have to listen. And it's not that I'm particularly squeamish about bad words. In fact, if one or two squeeze through, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing that could happen. I just don't want to get yelled at for it. Okay. This is Leia Sen and her song, Hyacinth. Alright, wigwam bam. West London five-piece Chubby and the Gang, which is a fantastic name by the way, they've shared a new EP entitled Labour of Love, featuring 3 brand new songs as well as a music video for their lead single called Who Loves Ya, in parentheses, Coup d'etat. Frontman Charlie Manning Walker says of the song, "We had the idea to do a Valentine's Day single, and I sort of wanted to show all the angles of love. Warts and all. Quite often it's not such a smooth experience, it can often feel scary and insane, so I wanted to write a bubblegum song about it, but also show the duality of the emotion." Chubby and the Gang released their acclaimed second album, The Mutts Nuts, last year via Partisan, and it follows the band's surprise 2020 critical hit, Speed Kills. Thanks to an unrelentingly fun concoction of hardcore, pub rock, doo-wop and blues, the album cemented them as leaders in a pack of new bands coming out of a new wave of British hardcore. Alongside classic rock and roll themes of love and loss, their lyrics are rooted in workers' rights, inequality, police brutality, government failure and gentrification. Issues that are built into the fabric of the UK and magnified in the English capital. In only 3 songs. I would have thought that'd be at least a double album, if you're going into all that. But this is Chubby and the Gang, and their song, Who Loves Ya? Show all the angles of love, warts and all. Coup d'etat. Frontman God, I'm annoying as fuck. English capital. In only 3 songs. I would have thought that'd be at least a double album. Be at least a double album, if you're going into all that. But Gang and their song, Who Loves Ya?
Wasting time pleasing someone else. A low self-esteem runs through your veins. Can you learn to be whole again? Can you learn to be whole again? And I was afraid to jump. Now you're by my side. I used to walk in the dark. Now I'm falling at the speed of light. I'm learning to change how my mind is framed. Feeling happy, feeling me again. Years have passed, letting no one in. It feels strange to be whole again. It feels strange to be whole again. And I was afraid to jump. Now you're by my side. I used to walk in.
They have been called slacker funk, mankadelic. They've been called all sorts. It's not for us to say what you are. Bollocks. Bollocks seems to be my go-to swear when it all goes wrong. Mankadelic. They've been called all sorts. It's not for us to. It's not for us to say what they are. That's up to you. In the words of Stephen Wilson Jr., all we can do is what we do and introduce ourselves. It's good to meet you and to have you along for the ride. Stick around, things are getting interesting. The SWJ Group is a collective of musicians from Manchester playing tripped out but awesomely tuneful music, low down and funky with an edge. Their sound has been compared to early Manchester right back to Funkadelic. They find it hard to categorize themselves. They are honestly just playing music that makes them happy and makes people nod their heads and have some cracking gigs under their belt, having played with Focus, Prog Rocks and gigs with Sugar Hill Gang, Space and Stereo MCs, amongst others. Let's take a listen, shall we? This is SWJ Group and their song Gravy Train. I didn't know what the song was called there for a second. It's a bit Partridge. Aha! My worst fear is becoming Alan Partridge. And I know a bunch of partridges already. This one is called Radio Edit as well. Gravy Train.
Your cronies see you in the dead of the night. The nights are sharpened, so you'll give a good fight. The flags are waving, so the rhetoric is on. The speech is written by the price of a gun. Get up on the gravy train. Get up on, you light again. Lie like you never lied before. Become the ones that you choose to ignore. Now fill your pockets with the profits of good, while our zero moves along in the mud. Oppress the movement of the future divine. It's like you knew that they would fall into line. Lie like you never lied before. Lies like the ones that you choose to ignore. Lie like you never lied before. And the blind are the ones that you choose for your core. Get up on the gravy train. Get up on, you lied again. Get up on the gravy train. Get up on, you lied again. Lie like you never lied before. And the blind are the ones that you choose to ignore.
That was funky. Okay, I think one more. Can you still hear me through Butterfly? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Whoops. I think maybe one more, and then we'll take a break, and then we will start assembling the show. Withered Man has been doing this for a while. He was part of the longest running independent label in the UK, Pro Plus for those wondering. He's had bands supported by tastemakers such as Zane Lowe, John Peel and the NME, and numerous UK, US and European festival appearances. He's also won awards, Best UK Solo Artist and Best UK Song nominations from the Indie Bible Pure MAs. As a producer, he's synced tracks with luminaries across the globe, including tracks on worldwide #1 hit albums and hit TV shows from across the pond. He's even worked with Peter Hook, who said, "Those songs were fantastic. It was wonderful, melodic and uplifting. He is actually a songwriter that can move people a lot, and what he has written is quite rare." Now he's begun a new chapter, working with and curating Media Track's new indie record label MT Records. The label identifies the best, freshest and most creative songwriters out there and plans a number of releases over the next 12 months to showcase this talent. We're starting with a track from Weatherman and the Noises' Become the Data album entitled He's Such a Good Man. It's two-piece garage rock. It's got an end section that feels like Rage Against the Machine is having a fight with Jack White, whilst 1,000 drummers smash their kits into pieces. If you don't like thick, soupy riffs and drum hits like there's no tomorrow, then it's not for you. Everybody else, welcome aboard. End section that feels like Rage Against the Machine is having a fight with Jack White, whilst... and Best UK Song nominations from the Indie Bible Pure MAs. As a producer, he's synced tracks with luminaries across the globe. Everybody else, welcome aboard.
He's such a good man. So glad he thinks I'm right up his street. Cutting corners so we can meet.
Wasn't unmuted yet. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to take a little break. And then we'll begin assembling the show. Okay, then. This is where it gets complicated. because now I have to build the show. I feel like I've done, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 songs. I feel like I'm going to run short, which is fine, because I can dip into last week's and add a couple to make up the time. And that's fine. I don't mind doing that. It's Alex Clare. Okay. Eight. Oh, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we need a. Let's go with Sister Swire. Oh, fuck, I've just remembered what else I need to do as well. Okay, Weatherman, Alex Clare, Sister Swire. Don't duplicate shit. Paste it. That's what I want. Okay, 14 minutes. We can now export this as part 1. Part 1. Okay. Jen Dixon. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to have to pad. I say pad. Pad is the wrong term. but add songs from last week's show as well. Pull that up. I could record some more, but honestly I'm sick of the sound of myself right now. I've heard a lot of me today, and that's enough. So it's fine. So let's go for them. Fights and fires. What I'm also doing at the same time is I'm keeping a notepad document of what order and what bands I'm using in the order that I'm using them in. So that when it comes to posting on the social media about the show, I don't have to be like, oh, I've missed out this person, I've missed out that band. It means they're all there. Makes life easier. And you know what? I'm going to do this in a different way this week. So that's 12. No, fuck it. Do it this way. Why not? Because the show has to be done in a format of 15-ish minutes, then a space for a break. But it's now put together in individual segments, so part 1 will be 15-ish minutes. Part 2 will be 30-ish minutes. Part 3 will be 15. Part 4 will be 15. Again, ish. There has to be a couple of minutes either side to put in commercial breaks. And then another 30-minute segment, then a final 15-minute segment. And this is because to allow for commercial breaks. It used to be all one big document. Oh, fuck, I forgot what I was doing there. It used to be all one big file. But then it got broken up.
22-year-old singer, songwriter, and producer Leah Sen has...
That's it, Leah Sen. Paste. This is K Tempest. And what I normally do is I normally put together the 4 15-minute segments first. And then I work on the half-an-hour segments, because the half-an-hour segment is normally where I'll have a interview with a guest. And it'll normally last about 30 minutes or so. Like any time I'm doing an interview with a guest, I try to make it last at least 20 minutes. So that with, introductions and then getting to the actual interview, it's about 20 minutes. And then the song, which I always play at the end, is about 5 minutes-ish. So that kind of works out for the half an hour. The half an hour section. I think I've done something wrong here. Let me have a check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, I've done it right. Fantastic. Love it when I do that. Well done me for being so clever. So that's the first 30-minute segment. Then we'll put together parts 3 and 4. And then part 5 is a guest interview. And then the final 15-minute segment. This is the part when it exports, though. And it takes a few minutes. But that's fine. Big shark. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Or if you're David Cameron, allegedly. I said allegedly. Well, that being said, come at me, Cameron. Get your butler to come after me. Get your butler's butler to come after me. Okay, part 2 is done. 2, 1, excellent. I can focus on what needs to get done. I'm on notice, hoping that you don't run. Oh, I think I'm tepid, but I'm misdiagnosed. I'm a stalker, I've seen all of your posts. Let's see, so... I think I played this Palace song like every week, one way or the other, in 2022. Let's get Chubby and the gang on the go. Turner, Chubby and the gang, and we'll do Chris Hughes. Why not? Actually, I think I probably played this Chris Hughes song every week in 2020 as well, one way or the other. You know what? It's a free radio show. Let's see, yeah, that's fine. Chris Hughes, that'll come out to export. Part is this part 03. This is Louisiana. Wait. And we'll finish part 4 with Tessa Violet. Okay. Now comes the interesting bit. This has all been interesting. It's all been fascinating. One. Four. Sarah Brown, Stacey. How long is this Stacey Jackson interview? 15 minutes. How long is the VR interview? Could do both. I think VR. Just trying to decide which interview to play this week. I was pretty sure which interview I was going to play this week. And then I saw a thing. And I doubted myself. But now I'm sure again. The only problem is that I do interviews over Zoom, and Zoom saves the audio as M4A. I'm sure there's probably a way to not make it like that, to save it as MP3 or even WAV format, but I honestly do not know. Don't know how to do it. Oh, and also, when I convert, so I have to convert it from M4A to MP3. And the thing I use to convert it, again, I'm sure there's a way to change it. Can't find it to save my life. It converts it into a single track file. So what I have to do is I need to convert for conversion into a double track file. Make sense? Clear as ditch water? Funky Cole Medina. That's the song. Has part 4 saved? Part 4 has saved. Excellent. Have we done SWJ group? Oh, I'm running out of songs.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you today?
Jesus, Murphy.
Good, how are you?
That's me. I always forget it does that. It auto-plays it on the website. And then I get to shit myself when I hear myself going, "Hello, how are you?" And I'm like, who the fuck is that? Who am I talking to? And when am I talking to them? Honestly, it's a shocker sometimes. Nope. Let's see. Don't you know, pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You've got to pump it up. Okay. Tracks and new serial track. So it saves as a single track file, which, can I show you? Will it work? No, it does not appear to want to switch screens, but it's a single track. So the trick is, by adding it to this track, which is already a double track, it multiplies it, see? Very clever, I'm sure you will agree. And this is the interesting part, because this is stuff that nobody gets to hear, really. And I don't know if you'll get to hear it today, but we'll see. So this is where I do the edit point. So I'm sitting there talking to the guest, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do an edit. Well, I'll play it for you so you can hear.
To it, but yes, so I'm ready to begin if you are, because I know you've got other things to do today, so I'm ready
I'm
to begin.
ready.
Okay, so I'll just do a quick reset, then we'll begin.
Okay.
Okay. Could I start by asking your name and what you do, please?
My name is Fior, and I'm a singer-songwriter.
How are you today? Are you well?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm very well. It's cold, but it's, winter in Scotland. That's to be.
So what I do there is I ask the guest, please say your name and what you do, please. So that the guest is like, hi, for example, you just heard, hi, I'm Fior, and that's because what I can do is if I want, and I want to do one of those ident things, like, hey, this is such and such, that's so I can take that, and I can then add it into a compilation of, hey, I am such and such, I'm Sarah Brown, I am this person, I'm that person, I'm Fior, and this is the Peter Greenwood Show, that kind of thing. Just so we don't have to do it at the end, so they can jet off to other things, normally other interviews as well, it just saves time. It also gives me 2 edit points, so I can begin the interview with, tell me your name and what you do, then they're like, hey, Fior, I'm a singer-songwriter. Or I can record another interview, another introduction, which would be like, hi, this is the Peter Greenwood Show, and my guest today is Fior, and then it'll cut to...
My name is...
How are you today? Are you well?
So that's the second edit point. I'm going to go with the first one, though. Tell me your name and what you do. Now, at the end here, let's see. What I normally do, again at the end, is I get them to introduce their own song, because nobody wants to hear me introduce it. So that's what this should be.
Yes, so my name is Fior, and this is my single, Let Me Go. It's about breaking toxic cycles and setting yourself free. I hope you love this song, and if you do, please share. Thank you.
And that is where I'll cut it. Thank you.
So then at the end, I leave a little pause, as you heard. And then I'll come on and be like, okay, did we get everything? Did we get the promos? Did we get the social media? Did we get this, that, and the other? And the guest will either be like, yeah, that was great. Or the guest will be like, no, that fucking sucked. No, nobody's ever been like, that fucking sucked. So the guest is normally like, yeah, that's great, thank you. So we say farewell. And that's the interview process. So what I will do is I will export this as it is. This is, I'm going to save this onto desktop. This is Fior edit with song. And what I can also do is now I have this. It means I can then upload it to the Peter Greenwood Show podcast next week. I know you can't see it exporting. For whatever reason, it doesn't show up on screen. It just... At moments like this, it feels weird because it just looks like I'm just sitting here looking around, twiddling my thumbs, whereas it's really exporting, it's really making the file, which is nice of it to do that. Thank you, computer. Another thing I tend to do is, you noticed I didn't actually go into the interview. And what I used to do is I used to edit out every and ah. But as I got older and I started doing more and more interviews, I started realizing that I liked the way they sounded, unedited. Because it just feels, at least to me, and I'm the host of a show, so... maybe it's all my opinion, but it just feels more natural to have that in. It feels like a proper conversation, like you're listening in on people chatting, which is an idea I really like. So that's why, unless somebody swears or there's like a major cock-up or something, I don't generally tend to edit bits and bobs out. It just feels better that way. At least to me. New stereo track. But as you can see, this is just over 16 minutes, so we're a little bit short. So more music. Darren. Who's lovely, by the way. He's been on this show before. I should try and get Darren back on. Very nice fella. There's a lot of people I'd love to have back on. Just such nice people, so chatty and interesting. So Darren, then I've completely forgotten who this interview is. Interview Fior. Do you have something to say to the people? You want to say hello to the people? Anything to say? Come on. No? Okay. Excuse me, please. Excuse me. Excuse me. Palace, nope. Palace. That brings us up to 26 minutes. That's fine. That is more than fine. That is exceptional. So that can be a few minutes for ad breaks. So this is part 5. Look into the camera up here. Say hello to the people. Hey, calm yourself. Now she's very angry. I can hear her scratching on things. Just waiting on part 5 to export. And then we will do the final part. It's very exciting. Okay. New. Beyond. So. And finally, part 6. It's the final part now. Diddle-doo-doo. 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 Diddle-doo-doo-doo-doo. Diddle-doo. Diddle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Diddle-doo. I know, right? So, where's my notepad? Squiggles. Taurus. Final song from last week. I say last week. Last month, more like, to be honest. Paste. Baboom. Part 06. What are you singing songs about? Wanna come up? Want to come up and say hello to the people? No? You don't want to come up and say hello to the people, even though we're nearly done? Come on. Here she is. Oh, hello. Hello. You're so fuzzy. You're so soft. Why are you so soft tonight? Okay, so there we go. 6 parts of a radio show recorded for this week. And I think that is where we will leave today's stream. Thank you if you came along. Bye, everybody. Bye.